All right. Hey guys. Welcome to Deep Dark Yoga. I'm April. Jezebel is eating no, don't eat that, not that one. Okay, it's fine. Welcome to yoga. I've got a block. If you don't have a block, I already told people who are in here, but people on the recording, if you had something of about these dimensions, even if it's a squishy thing, as long as it's fairly firm, we'll use that later. I like to sit up on something to start practice, so if you like to do that, great. If you want to sit in a different position than I'm sitting in, also great. Please do whatever makes sense for you. So I was out with a friend last night, and we were just hanging out, and it's like, I want a cocktail. I was like, oh, I want one too. I want a White Russian, because at this place we're at, like, they do vegan White Russians. I'm super excited. Hey, welcome. I was like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to get that. So he's like, oh no, like, don't order a Russian thing right now. And I was like, I have many thoughts about this kind of stuff because, well, two things. One, we become so caught in othering when we generalize like that. I mean, he was just joking, but I don't have a problem with Russian citizens. I don't have a problem with Russian culture. I think we can collectively agree that there's a problem with what the government is doing over there, and I'm not going to punish everybody about that. But I guess so. There's that, and then we got talking about things that people have been doing to try to make a statement about this. And in Oregon, in the Pacific Northwest here, there's a distributing company, Columbia Distributing, and they do like all of like the beer and etc., pretty much all of it, most of it that circulates in our area. And he said, yeah, I heard that they've actually stopped producing and distributing anything that has any Russian roots. Like, mostly it's from vodka, right? And even things that aren't currently being produced in Russia, Colombia has said, nope, like, not any of it. We are completely washing our hands of this business. And then my friend said, like, I don't really know if that's helpful. Like, what is that really doing? It's not, stopping the war, but the little things that we can do, even if they don't seem like they are like monumental and making some grand change and fixing everything right off the bat, the little things that we do matter. And they do say something. And even if it doesn't say something that changes everybody's mind or fixes everything about whatever's screwed up in my existence right now, if I can do something to change someone's mind, if I can do something to make one little thing in my day or what have you just a little bit easier, a little bit more, isn't that something that's worth doing? I've been teaching yoga for a long time. I do a lot of things like strength training and running, and I have people all the time, they're like, well, I can't work out like you do, I can't run the distances you do, and honestly I don't really want to spend an hour in a yoga class, but I kind of like taking a little walk around the neighborhood, or instead of doing a full yoga class, I just like to take those couple of deep breaths and maybe like stretch my hammies out, and that's what I do for the day. And like, maybe, yeah, like if you want to do more, you could do more, but come to metal yoga. But the little bits that you're doing there are great then. If that's what you need, that's what you need to be this like big grand gesture. And when we come into our practice, especially these physical practices, and it becomes like, oh, she's saying some really bizarre stuff, but I don't really want to do that thing with my body, you are not missing out on the entirety of the benefit of your practice by, not doing the things that are a little bit too much. Or maybe you just focus on this one little thing that matters to you in this practice, and the little things, they add up, they snowball, they become kind of big things, monumental things. Get into some of these little things. We're going to do some face brushing. So you take your index finger and your thumb together. You've got the squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb. Bring that to the center of your forehead and brush outwards towards your temples a few times. And then going from the sides of your nose out to your temples along your cheekbones. And from your temples down to your chin, along your jawline, and the sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh lines. Then bring your fingertips underneath and behind your ears. You've got the little soft spots that feel good to massage, and the bony spots that you can lift up on to get a nice long spine, like Miss Jezebel here, who's taking the perfect moment to stretch. And then keeping that lift in your spine as you rest your hands down into your lap or onto your pet. If it feels comfy, you can close your eyes, taking a few deep breaths to tune in. Maybe you ask yourself what little things that you might need for practice today. And next time you take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. As you open your eyes, if you've been sitting up on anything, go ahead and move it out from underneath you. You're going to take your legs and you're going to slide them over towards your right side and sit over on your left hip. Just whatever arrangement your legs fall into is all good here. With your left hand down, take your right hand and slide it behind your back. If you need to just leave it at the back, kind of pressing the back of your hand in there, great. If you can hold on to your arm, that'll give you a little bit more. You're going to use the pressure of your hand on your arm to draw your shoulders back. And then start to look down, like kind of to the floor and the side of your hip. You want to keep your shoulder from following you. You want to keep your chest lifted up. Take one more exhale. And start to lift your head up, release your arm. You're going to scooch to the other side of your legs or swing your legs around. You're going to sit with a little tiny lean, not a big lean, onto your right arm. Then the left arm goes behind your back and you hold onto your right arm, or you just press the hand into your back, whatever can help your shoulders to remain lifted. And there's a little tilt of the head down and over towards the right, so you're looking down at the floor just to the side of the hip. Keep drawing your left shoulder down and back. Madam. One more exhale. And then lift your head up. I'm going to release your arm. You're going to bring yourself onto your hands and knees, so we'll come into table pose. And once you get into your table pose, we'll work through a few cat and cow. Now, if your wrists are tender and you want to come to fingertips just to save them as much as you can, go ahead and do that. On your inhale, drop your belly and look up. And on your exhale, round your spine and tuck your tailbone. Inhale, lifting up and forward. Cow pose, exhaling cat pose. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, push the floor away, round deep. Take 2 more. Deep breath in. And out. And in. And out. Coming to A more neutral back. You're gonna wiggle your body out just a little bit longer and start to pull your hips as far back as you can, but not quite to child's pose. You're gonna really start to round here. So child's pose would be back here. I wanna get really round, like you're crouching. And then come forward. Let your hips come as far forward as they can. Roll your shoulders open as much as you can. Then exhale, pull your hips back again. Do that big round. And then inhale, hips forward, heart up. Exhale, round and pull it back. Now you're going as deep into this as you feel really good about. Don't push yourself. We're still warming up. You don't have to have a big back bend. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then come out towards a more neutral spine here. We're going to lower down onto our elbows. You'll come into Sphinx pose. And in your Sphinx pose, driving the elbows down, keep the shoulders open, relax your chin down towards your chest. And try to keep your shoulders pressing down, or your elbows pressing down, your shoulders open. And start to look upwards. You may think that your shoulders are open, but maybe you check to give a little test, see if you can open them up more. And then take your gaze forward. And then you're going to widen your elbows. Go ahead and rest your head on your hands, maybe your cheek, maybe your forehead, whatever you like. If your lower back feels tender, you can wiggle your hips side to side a bit. One more exhale. And then you're going to come back up onto your elbows. Now, if this starts to feel really tender in your back and you're like, I don't like it, I don't want it, just lower yourself down, face onto the floor again. And maybe you take your left hand, make a fist, move it by your right elbow, bend into your right leg, and then reach back and try to grab it with your hand. So you're going to hold your foot. And now what tends to happen is this hip starts to lift up. I'm going to press that hip down and forward, heart up and forward, stretching out through the thigh. Take one more breath in and out. And gently release that back leg. Back to your Sphinx pose. Then you make a fist with the right hand, bring it to the left elbow, and bend into your left leg. Reach back here and hold your foot. You take it back, lift your heart up and forward. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Gently release that leg. Go ahead and lower yourself down, rest your head, wiggle your hips side to side. You're going to start to bring your hands in underneath your low ribs. Lift your butt up off the floor, push your chest up off the floor, and then curl your toes under and press up and back into downward dog. Once you get here, walk back and forth in your heels a little bit. Relax your head down. Push strong from your heart into your hands. Take a really big breath in. And as you exhale, lower your knees down, coming back to your table pose. You're going to take your right leg and bring it forward, and then your hands up on your right thigh. Once you're here, you're going to want to get a good space between your back knee and your front foot. So if you're feeling a little bit short and underneath yourself, wiggle that foot further forward. You can lean as far forward as your knee is okay with here. If your knee starts to not feel okay, scoot your foot a little bit further forward. We want to get the hips as far forward as possible. Then push down into that front foot, a little bit more lift in the chest. I'm gonna leave my hands on my thighs so I can really just focus on this forward motion of the hips and the heart. Maybe even take the gaze up slightly. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then you can take your hands down, pull your right leg back, take your left foot forward. Might have to wiggle the foot forward more. Take your hands to your thigh, let your hips and your heart go forward. Turn the heart up. Maybe the gaze is turning up. Keeping up with your breath. Firmly planting the left foot down into the floor. Big breath in. And breathing out. And then you'll take your hands down. You're going to take your left leg and bring it back in. Now this is where things get weird. You're going to take your left toes, turn them out to the left. Put your right foot at the back of your mat. And then take your right arm up. And I'm probably not mirroring you, but you should be down on the same arm, same leg. This arm is lifted, this leg is out. You don't want your toes pointing towards the other toes. Not those toes behind you. So that you have room to press your hips and your heart forward. I like to let the shoulder roll back. If it feels good, you can lift the leg, reach back and catch for your foot. We want to feel the hips pressing forward. Now, if you're not able to bind the hand and the foot and you just want to reach them back on their own, that's great. But don't reach back like here. Reach your hips and your heart forward to send that arm back. Breath in. Deep breath out. And gently release those limbs. Come back onto your hands and knees. We're going to switch to the other side. So now it's your right toes that are going to go to the right. Your left foot goes to the back of your mat. Send your left arm up. And the first movement is to send the hips and the heart forward. That's the real point of what we're doing, is to stretch the hips and the heart forward. If you want to make this a little fancier, you reach back and you catch for your foot. Once you catch the foot, or if you don't catch the foot, either or, the hips and the heart go forward, you reach your arm and your leg back. Take a big breath in. Exhaling, gently releasing your hand and your knee back down. You're going to spread your fingers out. Push strong from your heart into your hands. You should feel strong and lifted in your upper back. Press back into downward facing dog. You can bend your knees a little bit if that feels better. Try to relax your heart down, but don't relax your arms. Push strong all the way from the heart into your hands. Big breath in. Big breath out. Then lower your knees down. You're going to sit back on your feet. I untucked my toes. If that doesn't feel good, you can sit to one side, much like we did before. Just take your hands, interlace your fingers, make a little figure eight with your fist. And then just as an ego check, try to go the other way, because what the hell is this? There are a couple things that I've been doing for a long time that have never gotten any easier, and this is one of them. Maybe you're very ambidextrous and can do some, no, not so much. But anyway, so now the wrists are a little more warmed up. We're going to go back to downward dog. I'm going to talk kind of fast through this, not because I want to rush you, but because you may not want to be on your hands. Okay, take your hands down. Feel the heart pressing into your hands. Press your hips up and back, and we're going to take the right leg and you're going to lift it up. Now make sure you didn't lift your left heel up. You want to let it drop down as much as it can. You're going to bend your right heel towards your tush, and your knee is the highest thing up in your body, even if it's only here. If it's down here, see if you can open and lift it up a little bit more, which might take some glute strength. You might feel like you're going to fall over. You're going to be good. Take a big breath in. And then lower that right leg down. We're going to go right to the other side. Take your left leg, lift it up, bend into your knee. Try to relax your right heel down. You got to press into both of your hands in order to keep the power to keep yourself up like this. On your inhale, and on your exhale, lower your leg down. And then we're going to bring the feet towards the hands and the hands towards the feet and find a fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Try to relax your head. You can even gently wiggle your brains out a little. Bring your fingertips to your shins. Lift up halfway, roll your shoulders back, send your heart forward, big opening through those hamstrings. With your exhale, soften down a little bit. Give yourself some space to stand all the way up. Lift your arms, lift your heart, hips go slightly forward. And then take your hands down into your heart. And then we're gonna bring the feet so that they're together and they touch. And then your weight goes slightly forward again. You wanna feel like your hips are moving forward. Take Charlie's Angels hands or Vira Mudra and lift your arms up. Get up a little bit taller. You're going to side bend over towards your right side and push down more in your left foot. That'll give you a little bit more power in this side bend. One more exhale. Then up through the center and over towards the left side. Push down more in your right foot. Big breath in. Breath out. And coming back up, go ahead and relax your arms. You're going to cross your legs. You're going to bring your left leg back behind your right leg. Take your hands, make that Vira Mudra again, and lift your arms up. Get a little bit longer. Breathe in. Exhale, side bend over towards your right side. And you want to push more into your back foot, your left foot. And you get so much more power. One more breath out. Come on up. Switch the cross of your legs. Lift up higher and then side bend over towards your left. What side is that? I don't know, but push into your back foot. That one I know for sure. One more exhale. Then come on up. Release your arms, unwind your legs. Just stand in a nice mountain pose, Tadasana. Just let yourself be balanced for a moment. Maybe close your eyes. Notice where you're feeling any tension, if there's anything to shake out. And open your eyes. You're going to take your right foot forward and your left foot back, finding warrior one. Make sure that you're standing with some space right to left between your that one and two. And then take your arms up. Feeling your belly lift up to your heart lift up to your hands, your spine get a little bit longer. And then your back leg is your left leg, bend into your left arm, hold onto your left elbow, and lift it up. Push down a little bit more in the left foot, feels kind of nice. Breathing in, out. And then release your arms, you're gonna lift them up. And then lean forward a little bit, take your left arm forward and swing your right arm all the way back. As you start to twist over your right leg, be sure that the knee didn't fall in. You want to keep it facing forward. Let out another exhale. And then your right hand to your right hip, your left arm lifts up. As you push more into your left foot, you get all of that space opening up on that left side again. Big breath in. Big breath out. And take your hands to your heart. Look forward. See if you can bring your back leg all the way up so that your knee comes up in front of you. Take many steps in order to get there. Just notice your balance. Notice where you're going, how you wiggle. And then set your foot down. And just switch to the other side. So your left foot is forward now. Your right leg is back. Set it up so that your toes turn in. Take your arms up. Lift your heart up to your hands, nice and long in your spine. You got your back leg as your right leg, so you bend into your right arm. Hold onto your elbow, lift it up taller. Push back into that right foot. Length all the way from your tricep, down your shoulder, and your hip, and your thigh. One more breath. And lift your arms back up, big breath in. You're going to lean forward slightly, right arm forward, slide that left arm back, finding a twist. Keep your hips underneath you, keep your left knee facing forward and not falling in. Then your left hand comes to your left hip and your heart reaches all the way up to that right hand. And it's not trying to dump into the back. It's always lifting the heart up and forward, long and strong. Big breath in. Breathing out. Turn back to the front. Take your hands to your heart. Take your back leg. Bring it all the way up. Even if you miss. Try to find just a little bit of balance there. Hang on for just a moment. And then set your foot down. Then take your legs out wide. I will try to mirror you now. So a little bit of our wide leg stuff. You're going to turn your toes all the way over towards the right. So right toes all the way and left toes in a bit. And then you're going to take your left arm or right arm and reach it out to the right. See, I told you I have no idea what I'm doing. So you're going to reach your arm out here. What is my right and left? Now turn your heart towards that hand. And you're going to send energy in your heart up. And there's a tendency to want to lean back. Don't lean back. Think of going up and out so much that it becomes this circle kind of energy, not a dump into your back kind of thing, right? Take another big breath in. And exhale, bring your hands back to your hips. You're going to shift your hips over towards the left. Let your left hip come forward slightly and then slide your right arm down. Now, if you really want to open your arm up in a triangle, you can do better. You can leave your hand right here at your hips. You can focus on this hamstring lengthening, on the spine lengthening. Big breath in. And out. Draw your belly in. You're going to start to lift yourself up. Bend into this right leg. Open your arms out, warrior two. Turn your nose towards your right fingertips. Your heart goes towards your right fingertips. Now you're going to lift your right fingertips up, keeping your heart and your nose up towards those fingertips, and you're lifting up towards them. Take a big inhale. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Lift and straighten the legs, shift them so that your toes are facing all the way over towards the left side. And turn your heart towards your left hand, right hand to your hip. Lift your heart all the way up towards those left fingertips. Long and long and long and longer again. Breath in. And exhale, bring your hands back to your hips. Shift your hips over so your right hip is up higher. Turn your right hip forward slightly and slide your left arm down. Just as long as so it could stop here. It's fine. You don't need to go any lower. Go where it makes sense to you. Hand can be in the hip or up in the air. I don't mind. I'm going to leave it at my hip here. Done plenty of shoulder stuff. Plenty of arm stuff. One more exhale. Start to lift yourself up, draw your belly in. You're going to bend into your left leg, open your arms out, look over that left arm. Your nose and your heart are turning towards that arm. Just stay turning towards that arm and keep that arm up and lifting your heart all the way up there with those fingers. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring them back down to warrior two. Bring your legs in. And we're going to do a little bit of balancing. Some of this is going to get kind of weird. First one, you might want to be close to a wall. The next two, you're probably going to want to have something in front of you. Now, this could be your couch, your coffee table, your bed, a chair, or if you have blocks, cool, bottom shelf of a bookshelf, anything like that. And you don't need it. You can just try to go towards the floor and then you might bend your standing leg. The reason I told you to grab an object is for something later, but we'll start here. So I'm going to face this way so I can talk about my rights and lefts, and hopefully I won't be super weird about that. First thing I said, you might want to be close to a wall because we're going to stay mostly vertical for this one. So you're going to stand up on your right foot. You're going to take your left hand and you want to hold the inside of your foot. It is easy to hold the outside of the foot. And then it's also easy to let your knee go out to the side like that. I want to keep my knees in. So I'm going to hold the inside of my foot. And then we're just doing this for a quad stretch. So if this is the quad stretch and that's where your balance practice is, great. You can hold on to the wall. It's fine. If you want to make this a little bit more open in the chest, you're going to push the foot back and lift the heart up and forward. Keep lifting your inner thighs. Keep breathing. Big breath in. Gently release that leg. Go ahead and set it down. We'll switch to the other side. You're going to do a lot of balancing, a lot of standing, so you don't have to hold it super long, but do what you can. Hold the inside of your leg. Lift your inner thighs in. Send that heart up and forward. Maybe it's here. Maybe you start to kick the foot back to open up. Think of taking up lots of space. Big breath in. Gently, as you exhale, release the leg down and bounce things around. Okay. Little dancer's pose. You're going to do a little bit of half moon. Want to have whatever you're going to put your hand on, and it could be the floor. Just put your hand down on the floor. Or if you got a block, or if your dog is, oh my God, you're so cute. Do you want to do this? I'm working. Okay. You're going to have your right foot facing towards whatever you're going to put your hands on. I can't with you. Oh my God. So you're going to have your foot facing towards that. The lifted leg is going to face out the same way as your chest. So try to keep your chest and your toes facing out to the side like this. Okay? You're going to bring your hand down. Then you're going to lift this leg up. And then maybe you lift this arm up. Make sure this leg is active. Try to get every limb to be active. If you fall in and out of this 20 times, then your body just learned 19 ways that it doesn't work, which is good information to have. And we know better to try again, ideally. One more inhale. Good. And then go ahead and set your foot down and stand yourself up. I'm going to switch this way. Okay. So I've got my thing. No, this is important too. So I have this thing about a foot away from my foot. If it's too far, all of my weight is going to be over here on my hand and not in my foot. I want it to be in close enough that I could lift this up at any point and it's not like really badly impacting my balance. So my heart and my toes face out towards you. I might lift this arm up, lift and stretch open across your chest. Keep breathing. And then you can set your foot down. Go ahead and stand up. One more standing balance. It's not even the last balance, it's not even the last weird thing. It's going to be a good one today. Same kind of thing where you don't want to have the weight in your hand. You want to have the weight in your feet. Have your hand down because it's going to help you to balance, just to have that point of contact, but you don't want to put the weight down into it. So I've got this thing in front of me, and even if I could fold down further, if I've just got the chair in front of me and that's helpful, that's great. You don't have to fold all the way in. So I'm going to keep my right foot down and my left hand down. I'm going to tuck my left heel up to my bum. Now, it is easier to find the foot with your hand when your eyeballs find it first. So find it with your eyeballs. Now your hand knows where to go. Then you're going to hold on to it. You go either like, okay, cool, I cracked the puzzle. This is all I'm asking of myself today. Or if you're like, I don't know, I think I could kick, and then you fall over. You can maybe kick the foot back. Now, don't twist over like I'm doing here. If you've got hold of the foot, you want to send the heart forward to do any more. And then gently set your foot down. Bend your knees. Put your hands on your thighs for a moment. Real cute. We'll do the other side. So you're going to stand on your left leg, your right hand is down. You're going to tuck your right heel up to your bum. Find the toes with your eyeballs, and then you can have a better chance of finding them with your hand. Then, if you're going to go any further, the first step is to turn your chest forward. Then you start kicking the foot up and back, if you've got the space for it. If it hurts your knee, don't do the kicking of the foot. Take another inhale. And then gently release your foot down. Bring your hands to your thighs. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good work, team. Lift it up. Your arms. Take a big breath in. And then bring your hands down to your heart. I have a few additional weird things to ask of you. We're going to go into downward dog to start it off. Stand yourself up in front of your space. Lift your arms. Take a big breath in. Reach your heart into your hands. And then you're going to fold down, plant your hands, walk your feet back as far as you need to come into your good downward dog where you are still reaching your heart into your hands. Take a big inhale and a big exhale, and gently lower your knees down. Okay. Weirdness in a slightly more even plane, and you can always be on fingertips instead of on your wrists. You're going to take your right leg and you're going to lift it up. My toes face up, my knee is bent. It is easier to find my foot if I look for it. So I'm going to look for it. Great. Eyeballs found the foot. And then you come up to your left fingertips. Maybe your left fingertips come to your right toes. And then if you're going to start to kick the foot back, you got to turn the heart forward. Otherwise, the knee starts to open or you start to fall down. So you got to try to stay as squared as you can. It's weird. And then gently release your leg down. Come on out of it. We're going to do the other side. So you're going to bend your left leg, lift the toes up, look over your right shoulder, see if your hand can find your foot. And then you turn the heart forward. You kick the foot up and back, and you breathe, and you let the breath out. And then you gently lower the knee, and then go ahead and take a seat. You can sit over to one side. It doesn't look like that. Take your hands, put water off of your fingers. Back in your hands. I'm going to take you through the wildest adventure of our evening together, and you are going to say, that sounds awful. I don't want to do that. I want to go back to the thing that we just did on our hands and knees. And like, that was a lot. It's a good thing. There's a lot going on there. It's a really good stretch. If you're like feeling a little bit acrobatic and weird, go ahead and do this one with me. However, and the cueing's pretty much the same, except for this thing. If you are going to look back for your foot on this one, your focus is going to shift. It's going to make your balance way wonkier. You're going to have a much harder time. You're much more likely to twist over and fall over, and you could still fall over anyway. You got to keep your gaze down, just like in your downward dog. Your gaze is down or your head's up, but it's got to go downwards and keep you squared, which means that it's going to be harder for your hand to catch your foot. So right now, just go ahead and say, hey, ego, it doesn't fucking matter if my hand catches my foot. Can we just agree to that? And like, okay, cool. We've just agreed to that. Let's try this out. We're going to come into a downward dog, and we're going to make it a really short dog. So that means you have to walk your hands and your feet in, and that also means you might have to bend into your knees. You want more of the weight in your feet, and you want to make sure you have more of your feet to work with, okay? So I'm going to leave my right arm pressing down even stronger than it was, and I'm going to tuck my right heel up to my tush. Why up to my tush? Because that's a place that I'm familiar with. I know where that is. So maybe I can get my left hand to find my foot. Now you could do this on your knee again. If you find it and want to turn that knee up higher, stretch your chest forward. You push stronger into your right arm. You fall over 20 times. Maybe eventually, yeah! Good! And then go straight to the other side so we don't have to hang out here too much. Okay, so foot to my tush. And I'm looking forward. Start to come up. Take the right hand to my left foot. And then maybe start to push that foot back and open up a little bit more. And then go ahead, fall over. Set the foot and the hand down. Lower your knees. My goodness. And then come down. Swing your legs out in front of you. Bring the soles of your feet together. Is that fun? Just hide yourself in knots today. Or practice falling over. I think practicing falling over is a useful skill to have because I do it a lot. I would just want to be, easier about it. It's not quite so scary if you do it more. So with your feet together and your knees open, just hold onto your ankles, lift your chest. Long through your spine, long through your arms, lifted in your heart. Take 2 more long, slow breaths. Relax back I mentioned you wanted an object, a thing, a squishy thing, or a firm thing, or a yoga block thing. This is the time to grab that thing. Not you thing. I'll hold on to you later. So you're going to take this and you're going to bring it in between your feet. You want to be able to push in and not have your feet come exactly together. A little bit of pushing in, though, will be part of what we're doing. So you're going to hold your feet into your thing, your hands onto your ankles, your ears up into the sky, and then you're going to push your feet into the thing. Sometimes scooching the thing a little closer so that the hips feels a little bit better. Same thing, long arms, long spine, gently pressing your feet into your block or block-like thing. Take 2 more breaths. And then relax. We're going to do it again. Stay here, or you bring it a little bit closer to you, or if your thing has multiple widths, you might go to a wider one. You're going to gently press your feet into your thing, lift your spine, lengthen your arms, keep your breath steady as much as you're able to. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then relax it. Take your thing and scooch it away from you. Bring your feet together. Maybe they're able to come in a little bit closer to you now. We're going to lift up long through the spine. Press gently into those feet. Lift your heart up. Deep breath in. Relax as you exhale. Got 2 options for you. You can lay on your back, put your ankle on your knee, doing the reclined pigeon. It would look like this. Or you can come into pigeon, and I'll do it facing towards you. You're going to have your knee facing out to the corner. This foot is going to be a little in front of your hip, not right underneath you. Slide your left leg back, and my hips are pretty much even here. I'm not sitting over on one side or the other. You can even grab your thing, scooch it in, so that you're supported and you aren't having to hold yourself up too much, and then you're going to come forward. I also like bringing a thing underneath my ribs. Feels good, feels supportive. So we'll be there for just a couple of breaths. Let's say 2 more breaths. And start to come up to your hands. You're going to switch your legs. You're going to slide your right leg back. Take your left leg forward. Make sure the knee faces out to the side, not directly in front of you. Your foot comes a little in front of your hip, so you're not sitting like on it, but it doesn't go like parallel to the front of your mat. So like knee just doesn't do that. So up a little bit. Support yourself where you need. Start to come down and rest. Sleeping pigeon. Two more long, deep breaths. And come up onto your hands. We're gonna all come up so that you're up on your knees. So if you've been on your back, you'll have to roll yourself up. You're going to curl your toes under, bring yourself up to standing on your knees. If you need to pat up your knees, put your hands, the back pockets with your imaginary high-waisted jeans, and the tendons let the tailbone point down and back. That, I want to let the tailbone point straight down in between my knees. From here, keep pressing your hips forward. You're going to lift your rib cage up and away from your hips. So I'm opening up those front pockets as much as possible, taking my gaze up, rolling the shoulders back, lifting that heart up and forward. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Pick your belly up, pull it back to a more neutral spine, and go ahead and rest back into a seat. You're going to come to a comfortable seat, whatever works for you. If sitting like this feels good, if you want to put a block or something underneath your hips feels good, you can sit crisscross applesauce, you can lean up against the wall, lean up against your bed. We're going to take a very accelerated version of a Tonglen meditation. This is a practice in which we use the light and the power inside of us to take another person's pain. And you don't like take it and hold on to it. You take it and you let your light overpower it. It's super woo-woo and it's really cool, and you get to like paint images in your brain. So get ready to be really creative and daydreaming. So you're gonna start off and you're just gonna come into a comfortable seat, and I would like you to think of somebody that is experiencing pain. And it can be like you watched somebody stub their toe earlier, or like somebody that you know, or just an abstract idea of a person, a type of people maybe in the world, you know, that are struggling right now. So once you've got that person, I want you to see them in front of you. And you're going to look inside of their heart. And in their heart, you can see a tiny, faint little blue light. But surrounding this light is a bunch of black curling smoke. And that black curling smoke is the pain that they are in. So you look inside of your own heart, and you can see there a brilliant, sparkling, radiating blue light. So when you look back to this person with the smoke around their heart, what you're going to do is you're going to take a really big breath in, and your breath is going to bring all of that smoke up to the tip of their nose, out of their heart. Take a really big breath in, and then it stays there as you relax, as you exhale. Our next breath is going to take the smoke that's right around the tip of their nose. It's going to bring it to the tip of our nose. Take a really big breath in. There at the tip of your nose, it's going to stay there as you exhale, as you let it go. Now inside of your own heart is that radiating, magnificent, powerful blue light. This is the blue light that you've built up with this practice of coming and taking care of yourself, of all of the love and the support that you've had around you in your life, or just the fact that the sun came out today, stoked about it. Whatever's powering this blue light, you're going to use it. So on your next breath in, you're going to take the smoke down into your heart. On your exhale, that light in your heart is going to just blow away all of that smoke. So go ahead, take a really big breath in. Bring it into your heart, exhale. Maybe you can even see all of those little bits of dark gray and black smoke drifting off into the ether, dissolving into nothingness. You can see inside of your heart and this other person's heart just as much beautiful, radiating, beautiful blue light. This love and power and strength within each of us. And you say to this person, as you work through this pain, as you work through this experience that you have had, I give you these gifts. I give you the gift of giving, the gift of giving. I give you the gift of peace, of patience. I give you the gift of love. Take your time opening your eyes again. We're going to do a couple little poses and just start to work ourselves down towards Shavasana. We just did a camel pose, a big heart opener, and we're going to do another one just to see if it feels any different after that work or after giving it a few moments to relax. So, and sitting on anything, go ahead and move it. We're going to come up onto our knees, curl your toes underneath, so that your underbutt is lifted. That's why I say that. You want your underbutt lifted forward, tailbone down. Hands into your back pockets. Lift your heart up and forward. Might feel pretty good. You might be like, oh, I want to hold my heels on this one. Now, whenever I do that, I have to then press the hips a little bit further forward. So if you're going back there, know that you're going to have to lift up and forward even more. Take a big breath in. Exhale, pick your belly up, bring your hands back to your hips if they move, and then untuck your toes, come down to a seat. Take a big breath in and out. And swing your legs out in front of you. We're going to come down onto our backs. If there's something you're going to want near you for Shavasana, go ahead and grab it. Your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, rock around a bit. And set your feet down. Leave your feet pretty close together. Take your arms open and then roll both of your knees over to the right side. I like to just leave the knees stacked. This slightly open twist has been feeling pretty good after this practice, but if you want to tuck yourself in more, you can. Go ahead and settle. Let your belly relax. Let it soften with every exhale. Take 2 more breaths. And then you're going to take your legs and turn them over towards the other side. You may have to wiggle the shoulders or the hips a little bit in order to feel like you've got another balanced pose going on. You just start to let yourself soften, be held by the floor, relax your belly as you breathe out. One more exhale. Bring yourself back to the center. Wiggle your feet a little wider. Let your knees fall against each other. And bring your arms in by your sides. Snuggle your shoulders underneath your heart so your heart is a little bit more open and lifted for what I was going for there. And then you can stay here with your knees bent or slide your legs out, letting your feet flap open. If you would prefer to take a seated meditation or change your shape to whatever would be supportive and comfortable for your body, please do. We'll rest here, softening, turning inwards. Taking just a few minutes like this before we wrap up together. as you come back to your body. Tuning yourself in and taking some deeper breaths. When you're ready, roll yourself over to one side, curl yourself inwards, offer yourself a moment of gratitude for making it onto your mat today, for coming to this practice, for having the internet through which to do this stuff. And when you're ready, come up and find your own version of a comfortable seat. Sit however it makes sense to you. Your hands together at your heart. Let your heart continue to lift and open. I'm going to seal our practice, releasing one more Om together. Take a deep breath in. Bowing down to the love, the light, and the darkness, all of these things that reside within our hearts. Namaste. For being here, everybody. As always, let me know if you ever have questions, comments, feedback, requests. Love to check in